Good day to you, gentle person from the internet, and thank you for joining me as we have a look here at the full picture, which is sort of a hidden object puzzle game, which I am rather fond of. But I will say that this game in particular needs quite a bit of polish. It needs a fair bit of cleaning up to really reach its full potential. In as much as I judge it, of course, and however much you judge, you trust my judgment. But I suppose that raises then the question: why am I showing it as one of the good games series? And the reason is twofold. First of all, because I can feel that there is a really good hidden object game here, and hidden object and puzzle, and that kind of game. There's a good sort of detective game or something like that. I think it needs a lot of features to become a good detective game. And secondly, because of kind of where this game came from. As you can see here, it's by the Godot Collaborative Game Jam community. And I've opened their page here. And they say, "We are a large community of random game developers and artists who make games together in a mass collaboration effort," which I think is really, really interesting. We are always looking for more programmers, visual and sound artists, narrative designers, UI, UX designers, etc. And then they had a game jam. We opened that in a new tab. It was the 33 games in 100 days, hosted by the community, and it ran at the end of this last year, end of 2025, September to December. It's a 5-month-old community at this time, so I guess it's probably closing in on like three quarters of a year now. If it was really 5-month-old then, yeah, I don't know. It must be closing in on a year old. Of 700 odd people. They don't compete against each other, but together against deadlines. I think it sounded really, really interesting, and I wanted to raise my own flag in their support, as it were, and have a look at one of their games and just, I guess, mention this community to you guys and say, hey, keep an eye out for this, because this is absolutely fascinating. I don't see too much else that they are particularly saying that they're doing. I guess you'd have to go and check on the Discord. Oh, they do have a Blue Sky presence as well. I might, when I post this video on Blue Sky, I'll add them, just so that they know that someone's looking at their stuff, I suppose, in the hopes that they look back and like what I do as well. That would be mutually beneficial, I think. Rather nice. Anyway, let's just have a look at the game, and then I'm going to jump into some critiques of the things that I think the game needs. I suppose, bearing in mind that this was, I'm assuming it's part of their 33 games game jam, so this was a game jam game. But I think there are some design principles that they might be missing for the community that a game like this is aimed at. Okay, let's jump in and have a look. First of all, let's have a look at the credits, and it is these people. So a fair amount of people who worked on the game, not too bad at all. How do I get away from the credits? Okay. There is a tutorial, which is basically just a page telling you how things work. So you have a map where you can WASD to move around, scroll wheel to zoom in or out, and then when you move this cursor over, it becomes that cursor of anything you can click on. And you click on something and it pops up a bunch of text. Some of the words in that text might be red. If you click on them, they become discovered words and get added to your menu and turn blue. And then you, at some point, open the sentences view when you feel you're ready, at which point you will have like a partial sentence that you then drag your discovered words onto to form a deduction. And then if you get the deduction right, you move to the next little bit of the game, which sounds pretty straightforward. There's also a words submenu to organize your thoughts, to keep track of your words. I'm not quite sure how that works in a feasible manner. We'll have another look at that. I wasn't able to figure it out. Maybe we can figure it out together. Anyway, that is the sum total of the tutorial. I would never say that that's enough tutorial for a game, but considering the sort of the the status of this game. I'm kind of regarding it as kind of like an alpha, a game jam alpha state, as it were, something along those lines. I guess it's not a bad tutorial. Anyway, they also have a settings page with the quality of life controls I like to see. Let's just click the full screen. See with I mean, that doesn't really do anything. We're still hopefully recording just fine. And then we'll hit start. I have turned the music down a bit because it was actually quite loud in my ears. So this is the view that we have. This is the map view. So this is kind of what you see when you go to the map view. We are in this building, and I believe a body was discovered there. And we are, as far as I can understand, because we're not really given much of the storyline here. So I suppose that's my first critique: is where is the storyline? What is going on? Who are we? Who is the dead body? What is the background and the context here? Which we have none of that. So yeah, but as far as I can pick it out from trying to play through the game a bit, we are an artist here with an assistant, and currently, because the body is discovered here in this gallery that I guess we work at, we seem to be the prime suspect. So we're trying to figure it out ourselves, despite being somewhat hungover, as a sort of a proper, anguished artist is. We're trying to turn our brain to it. So here is the body that we can look at. If we click on it.
Was there any blood here?
I didn't see the dead body in person.
And we're a female
but I heard
artist.
the victim had blue lips and smelled rather peculiar. The medical staff was arguing about it.
I'm assuming we're the artist and not the assistant. I don't know. We're supposed to be both of them with both of their efforts. Anyway, so obviously there's a bunch of words there. Was, blood, dead body, victim, blue, and lips. Whoever discovered the body said that they had blue lips and smelled rather peculiar, and the medical staff was arguing about it. And that's all the information we can get there. So that is the body. Now we can look around the room for more information. For example, this window.
The room is filled with an unpleasant sweetish smell. You try to open the window. It's jammed.
Okay, we're, I suppose, narrating to ourselves a bit. Nothing else there. Then there is a picture here that we can look at.
The director hates this piece. He rolls his eyes whenever he sees it hung up on the wall. It's your favorite painting.
So there is a director, and we seem to have some animosity with him. Is it just me, or was the body and the painting in kind of the same position? I've only just noticed that. Okay, the only other thing we can look at is the body. There's nothing down here to look at. We can have a look over here. There's nothing. Oh, another big painting that we can click on here.
The strokes are messy. The colors aren't right. The shapes are crooked. This piece would have ended in the trash if it wasn't for the director's insistence. He put it in the gallery despite your protests. Your heart stings at the sight of mistakes committed by your own hands.
Yeah, so we already are having an argument with this director. He seems to like work that we thought was terrible, so we probably have certain judgments on his artistic judgment ability. But nevertheless, but we didn't get any more words from that. So we go down here, nothing in this area, nothing in this area. There's a door here.
Door to the director's office. Money talk always happens in that room. You dislike being there.
So we can't get through to the director's office. It's a dark room at the moment. But there is another room down here. This appears to be our workroom, considering the paints and the painted canvases that are catching spilt paint and the mess. I don't know, do galleries normally have a little sort of actual artwork room tucked in the back somewhere? I wonder how many galleries have that. Also, considering this is a grouping of people, and it seemed to be somewhat anti-AI, but my initial judgment was that these assets were designed by AI, because the walls are absolutely crowded with doubled images everywhere. Do galleries normally actually look like this? these paintings. I mean, I've only ever seen kind of proper galleries in movies and things like that, and the paintings are normally quite isolated. You know, you'll only have one or two on a wall like that, and then a piece over there in the corner, and then a couple more here. There wouldn't be just this absolute cramming. A few very minor galleries that I've been to were likewise rather more sparsely crowded than this. I mean, I suppose if you're trying to sell paintings in the gallery, that is how you would do it. Anyway, there is, I think, just one clickable area here in this room.
You were drunk already, weren't you? You truly have no shame.
And our assistant is being a bit of a prat. Oh, unless we're the assistant and we're being a bit of a prat. But yeah, it did sound like we're doing a bit of morning drinking, so we're either drunk and or hungover from drinking. Yeah, I think that is everything that we can click on. Over here, nothing there. I can't see the cursor changing anywhere outside. So we have enough to build our first sentence. Then we have, you couldn't have committed the crime because, and this is kind of where my second critique rolls in, my second strong critique, and that there is not enough here to build like a decision for you know, to build a deduction, a decision from, because we have no idea. We have absolutely no idea what's going on. We have a bunch of words, but no context to actually build the sentence from, and no hints. And I will say that hidden object games normally have hints. It is a fundamental part of the hidden game community is that the games are supposed to be relatively easy to play. You don't sit down to have a challenging battle with hidden objects and those kind of puzzles and things like that. You know, nobody is looking for that game experience when they're coming in to play a hidden object game or a browser puzzle game. You want something with hints. You want something relatively obvious, so you can do a little bit of thinking and go, haha, I succeeded, and get that dopamine rush and move forward. This is difficult. This is quite difficult. But in a sort of just a flash of inspiration, I figured out that the victim was already dead.
But
and I did not
you, then who? But if it wasn't you, then who? There's a place we haven't checked yet. The director's office.
Okay, so this
We
isn't...
aren't supposed to go in there. Besides, the door is locked.
The police chief herself gave me the key.
Female police chief.
We can't go in there.
Someone tried to
Someone tried to frame you. We are going to find out who, by all means necessary. I don't know why the sound cut off there. Maybe it's a time-based thing. Anyway, so yes, I did not expect that to work, and then it did, and I was surprised. I was quite pleased with myself for having jumped some kind of deductive leap that happened to turn out right. But again, I don't feel we have been guided to a deduction here. I think this game needs a lot more context and clues to lead us to these deductions. You know, we need the Holmes series of observations that other people possibly don't make because we're an artist or something like that. And that's kind of why I'm saying this game needs a lot more filling out and a lot more polish. The basic game is here. It just needs more, I guess, more writing done, more little clues, more little bits and pieces here, until it becomes relatively obvious that, you know, we've been like, what does it mean that the victim was already dead? Already based on what? Based on my arrival? I don't know what time I arrived. I don't know what time the victim died. I don't know what the situation is. So yeah, I don't know where. Oh, there's something interesting down here. This may be the thing that I was missing, because I couldn't actually solve this next step. I couldn't find the answers. And I was looking all over the place to try and find if there were some more words somewhere. But let's look over here and see what these words are.
The flowers you planted near the storage years ago didn't bloom this year. Upon closer inspection, you notice shallow marks in the ground. It seems something heavy was dragged through here.
Okay, the storage dragged here. Alright. interesting. We might need to go into the storage or something like that. I wonder if that's a third stage. I don't know how far this game goes. Alright, so anyway, yeah, we don't have enough context to make deductions. And I think this game would be so much more interesting if it was. Okay, this is just
Door to the director's office.
door to the director's office again. Alright, now things we can find in the director's office. Let's zoom in a bit. We have the front desk here.
The paper is smooth beneath your calloused fingertips. It's an excerpt from a recently passed law, you think. The official language makes your already throbbing head spin.
Oh dear, I seem to have cut off the sounds. Apologies. Artist, I found something. Assistant, it's the new law regarding artistic property. When an artist is deemed unable to care for their legacy, a relative will temporarily becomes its legal guardian. A relative will temporarily become its legal guardian. Have you heard of that painter that tried to pay off their prison bail by selling their work? I see, thank you. Alright, so we've got a bit of a hint there, I guess.
The paper is smooth beneath your calloused.
Alright, yeah, that's both the same things. Because there seem to be two clickables there. Oh, is that just all one thing? Alright. There's nothing in here. Oh, there's something here. And where else? We have something over there. Well, let's see what's here.
You can only make out a few words through the blurred red ink. Debt, need payment, overdue. It all comes down to money in the end, you think, exhausted. You fold the note and put it back on the desk. You wonder whether it were tears that stained the paper.
So need money, tears. Let's see what is in here.
So that's where all of your wine went. Its strong smell, somehow even worse than the corpse's odor, makes your stomach churn. You want to reach out, grab a bottle and chug the alcohol down, but you doubt the police chief would be happy about you getting drunk. The director would definitely give you a disappointed look. You hope he'll put up with your habits a bit longer. Family should stick together, right?
Alright, so the director is family. We want to reach out, grab a bottle, and the police chief. So these are interesting story snippets, well written, very, very, very noir-esque. Lovely writing. I just wish there was more telling us about more of the story, about more what's going on, making the decisions a little bit easier. So this to me feels like everything that I can click on. I couldn't find anything else. I found that now, so maybe I can get a little bit further forward. Maybe the deduction will be obvious when I look at it next. But that seems to be all of it. Alright, let's have a look at our sentence. So, who is the real culprit? How did they commit the crime? So... Alright. So it was the something. And the only thing that seems to me to fit is the police chief. That is the only words that seems to me to fit. But again, there is nothing I've read in those previous snippets to suggest that the police chief has got anything to do with this case, other than is the one investigating it. Why do we think the police chief is the murderer? I don't know. But it seems to be the only words that fit in there. I'm guessing they did it because they need money. Because there was the debt letter and things like that. But why we think the police chief left that letter, I don't know. Actually, let's have a look at that letter again.
The paper is smooth beneath your calloused fingertips.
Okay, no, that's just the law. The law.
You can only make out a few words through the blurred red ink.
Blurred red ink.
Debt, need payment, overdue. It all comes down to money in the end.
There's nothing there that says that this is anything to do with the police chief, so I don't like it. Okay, well anyway. Need money. Okay, let's just say they dragged the corpse from the storage.
Maybe you're still drunk.
Nope. Okay. Am I missing more sentences? Maybe it's want money? Where's the money gone? Yeah, also I don't really like the dragging thing because it's a little bit awkward. If I clicked or double clicked something, it should auto move it across to put it into the sentence, or at least have that be an option. Let's try that. No, okay. Could any more words fit in here? I don't know. I don't know. Anything else in the director's office?
Door to the director.
No.
The flowers you planted near the storage years ago didn't bloom this year.
There's nothing we can click on there. We can't open the door or anything like that. Nothing in the little outhouse. Nothing on the grounds. I don't see anything summoning my attention. They would have had to have dragged the corpse across here.
Door to the director's office.
Yes, yes, yes. Nothing on this door, so I mean I would have had to drag it all the way around through here. Any drag marks or anything?
Was there any blood? Was there any blood here?
I didn't see the dead.
The room is...
I mean, my assumption, based on the little bits that I've been reading, is that it was the director who killed the person, because it's on their table that they need money. And I'm thinking that the police chief being the killer doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean anything to me. But is there somewhere
You were drunk.
where I can click on something and it actually says the director as an option
The director
for me
hates
to
this.
click on a
The
word?
room is...
I don't get it. I don't get this at all. Is there anything at the entrance? No.
Was there any
No,
blood?
that's just the victim again. Any other paintings? I don't think so. I think I've been over all of them. The paintings that we hate, that the director likes. Nothing there. Nothing down there. I feel like there should be something over here. Something in the director's office.
So that's where all of your wine went. Its strong smell, somehow even worse than the corpse's odor. Maybe you're still drunk.
No, I don't know. We've already done this one. Who's the real culprit? I don't think it's the police chief. So yes, so I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know what's going on, and there is no hint system to help me unstuck myself.
Was there
And that
any...
is a difficulty I'm having. So I'm going to leave the gameplay there, and maybe we'll get a hint in the comments, or the devs will come and tell me what the answer is in my YouTube comments. That would be quite nice. But failing that, I've given you my main critiques, that there is no hint system, and there isn't enough context to make deductions from. I guess, are my main critiques. Just to go through the usual basic things, the UI is very pleasant. I like the design. I like the looks of it. The sounds, this music is a little too relentless. I think this track should be the main menu music. I don't really like this. Whereas while we're actually in the game, it should be something a little more restrained, a little more pulled back, because it's hard to have relentless, driving music while you're trying to think about something. Yeah, so the music choices. I mean, it's beautiful music, but I don't think it really fits very well. Artwork. I mean, the game is very, very pretty. I still have my suspicions about this kind of gallery layout. I don't think it's quite right. I would have a lot less paintings, and then like maybe another room over here or something with a stack of paintings. Or here's the stack of paintings, and then here would be the room that is the artist's room or something like that. To show kind of an active gallery, as it were, rather than just this room of paintings TM. But other than that, I think this is very pretty. This is very good looking. This is very interesting. I wonder what era this is supposed to be. I mean, we have an external outhouse and things like that. I don't know, maybe this is supposed to be the sort of the 1800s, perhaps. There's not a lot to give us much hint. Oh, a female police chief, though, that can't be that old. You didn't get female police chiefs back then. That's very much a modern inclusion.
The flowers you planted near the storage.
Nothing left there. Yeah. I suppose just from there, just my meta critique, and I mean, we've gone through the gameplay elements that I think is missing, but I like the vibe of this game. I like the feel of it. I like the this almost feels like an origin story for an unlikely detective team, the assistants and the artist, who flesh from clearing the artist's name here, make friends with the police chief, and then end up getting involved in other crimes and turn into a sort of a Holmesian person that the police chief turns to when there's something weird that they can't quite see the answer to, or something along those lines. There needs to be a something there, and maybe some mini games to involve art or something like that could be added. And I don't know. There is. That's like I said. One of the reasons why I covered this game is I feel there's so much potential here. And so much potential in the dev team behind this to actually produce something rich and deep, and I really want to see this turn into something like that. That's really why I want to support it, and I'm fascinated by this kind of collective group churning these games out, and I want to see more of that as well. So thank you very much to the developers for creating this rather lovely game, and especially to the musicians. Aaron Bush, good music, dude. Very absolutely lovely, but maybe something a little more restrained for the actual investigative part of the game. Beautiful, all in all. And good voice acting. Is Risible Zombie the artist, I'm guessing? I don't see like game design here. There's a writer, but you really need another role of kind of game designer, which I suppose the programmers were taking up to convert the story into gameplay mechanics. And I don't think the programmers did a very good job. Hence my rant, my critique. So yeah, excellent programming, not good game design. At least in the mechanics, and Junjun, do more design QA. Whoever you are, do more QA about the game design and the game flow, not just whether the bits that you click on work. Yes. So anyway, enough picking on the game. Don't let me by picking on it suggest that I don't like the game. I think it's quite stunning and inspirational in terms of the depth that I can see potentially there. So I was saying thank you to the devs for creating this game, and all of the dev adjacent crew. And thank you to you for coming to watch us. Don't forget to like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike the video. Don't forget to leave me a comment telling me why you liked it or disliked it, or how stupid I am for not being able to finish this particular mission. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see me review more indie games. I try and maintain a game a day, which is quite a load, but I am enjoying it, so not stopping anytime soon. Yeah, so hit that subscribe button. And thank you for watching it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.